All right, so yeah, like I said, it has additional stimulants in there, some caffeine. It's got some carnosine in there, which is in the ABC anyway, which is obviously your patent beta alanine. It's got acetyl L-carnitine, choline bitartrate, and caffeine anhydrous. It also has N-acetyltyrosine, and the N-acetyltyrosine for me just keeps my face just forward and just focused. It's really like dun dun dun. I'm doing these steps. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going left. I'm not going right. I'm just going to keep plodding forward. Something about it just gives me that real nice, go forward focus. Obviously, the choline helps as well. Flavor wise, these are fantastic as well. I only do one scoop of this, just one serving. That yields 2,500 milligrams of leucine, half of that of isoleucine, and half of that of valine. So obviously 2-1-1 ratio. Love it, just love it. I put that in before I leave the house, and then I put some 2 scoops of the regular ABC into the shaker, obviously, for while I'm doing my cardio. So once I arrive at the gym, I start sipping that bad boy. This is similar, but just minus obviously the stimulants, but also yields a higher amount of BCAAs. This is a 10 gram serving of BCAAs. Still contains your carnosine. There's also a little bit of added glutamine at 2.5 grams, and also citrulline malate at 2.5 grams. So good for preventing lactic acid build up. Good for like helping with recovery. Because even during cardio, to be fair, like I trained legs yesterday, and they're smashed to bits. Not yesterday, day before, and I had physio yesterday, and they are ruined. And I feel that this allows to, clear a lot of that crap that's in your legs. So 2 scoops of that while I'm doing my cardio, which is just your steady state standard stuff. You get like 50 servings in that, so it's a nice, it works out good for its money. Moving on to the next sort of parameter of the day where I would use a supplement by either one of the two, it would be your pre-workout. Now, typically this depends on what I want that day. I've changed training to midday, allowing me to use more stims because I'm getting close to the show. And if I used stims when I was training in the evening, I was suffering with bad sleep problems. So I've swung things around to suit the demands of my current needs, basically. So America Labs Red, White and Boom is the standard pre-workout, which is obviously stimulant based. Again, it's not like overly, the panel isn't huge, the panel's just ideal. It contains what it needs and not nothing else. So there's none of these crazy stims that you don't know what they are. None of these proprietary blends where you're like, I'm guessing that could be this or that could be that. How does it work? Is it good? Yeah, because I don't want to be racing off my tits these days now, because I can't afford to be, because I need that focus. And I need to be able to perform rather than have the jitters and feel cold or whatnot. Body fat's quite low now, and I find with some of the heavy stim pre-workouts, I start to feel shivery, and it's not a nice feeling. I just want to be warm and I want to be pumped, and I want to help circulate the blood while I train rather than feel like I'm actually about to go into a Ibiza club and get my boogie on. So typically I'll just take this. Let me run through your panel for you. So you got your L-citrulline malate at 2-1 ratio, but that's a whopping 8 grams. So you're getting a nice amount, about 5 grams of citrulline, and then 3 grams or so of the malic acid. Creatine monohydrate, just standard proven stuff, 5 grams. Carnosine beta alanine at 3.2, which is the ideal dose in terms of clinical usage. Caffeine anhydrous at 400 milligrams, that's pretty high. And if that was the only stimulant in here, you'd probably have problems because it would shoot up and then dip off quick. But they also do have the DMHA in here as well at 150. So that kind of stops the crash of the caffeine and allows it to just continue smoothly for a lot longer, which is what you want, because you don't want to go in there and have like 4 sets of exercises, feel great, and then move on to your second exercise and all of a sudden like dip. So you need that sustainable energy really, and that's where the DMHA kind of kicks in. And then there's synephrine HCl in there as well, which kind of aids towards I believe thermogenesis. I might be wrong, but fat burning, so kind of has those benefits as well. So they also have their pump formula, which is standard, real standard stuff. It's so good to stack because it's not caked full of ingredients. Again, this is just 3 ingredients. L-citrulline at 6 grams. That's just pure citrulline, so no malic acid. Hydromax, which is obviously one of the highest qualities of glycerol monostrate you can actually get. 65% glycerol. And betaine anhydrous as well. So that combined with that is ideal. Loads of active ingredients in there. You know, per scoop, you're pretty much yielding, I think it's like 80 to 90% of natural active ingredients. So you can always use this, I would say. And then I would say if you're training, say, if you do push-pull like I do and you're training several muscle groups in one day and you do really want a good pump, just throw that in as well, because, you know, you're training hard. There's a lot of muscle groups there. You want to get that good hydration, which is what glycerol is going to do, because you're not just training biceps alone. You're training biceps, back, rear delts, traps. So you need to really get that hydration on point. So these two together, just 1 scoop of each will do the job. Again, it's just tastes good as well. The flavor's Freedom, which is it's like a ice lolly. I don't like drinking that fast because it's so nice. So what I do is I fill up the whole shaker, and I'll literally just sip it on the way to the gym, slowly. It's not one of them ones where you just go, back it off, I'm ready to go. It's worth drinking slowly, especially because it's a glycerol product. I think that you want a lot of water to help with the hydration, and if you sip it, you're going to let it digest a lot better, and the uptake should be, I reckon, of a higher standard, because glycerol is quite chalky, so therefore you can kind of tell that to pass through the stomach, it should have more fluid. Really good stuff though. Since glycerol's come on the market, I've loved it. So obviously since I used Vasumax by Strom back in the day, I've been a fan of the glycerol monostrate. 5 grams of that in there. So, you know, that's a lot. That's the same as Matt Porter's Celluvol. Protein wise, the Core ISO is their highest quality in terms of purity. It's cold, you know, filtered isolate. This is something that I would use pre-workout with some carbs. So typically I would have like brown rice or rice flour. This mixes really well with it, and obviously digests really well, because you want a protein that isn't going to sit hard on your stomach before you train. I would use this again post-workout with my cereal. This yields 24 grams of protein per scoop, 1 gram of fat, 0 saturated, 0 trans fats, and 1 gram of carbs, so it's diet friendly. So this can be used all around the day. Like I say, they do other proteins as well, which are really good, but in my current schedule and where I'm at in the prep, this is all I need. You get like 48 servings, but so this is good. Thing with this tub, they may look small, but this is full to the top. So don't be fooled, you know, because a lot of companies give you these big old 2.5 kilo tubs and it's like full to here. This is literally there, so you get a nice weighty amount, you get a full amount, there's no bullshit. And then, you know, the final product I've been using a lot and I need to get more of because it's pretty empty now, I'll probably use it more than I should, is the Core Z, which is the high GABA melatonin pre-bed formula powder. So what I tend to do is have my last meal, I mix a whole shaker of fluid because I still like to keep hydrated. I put that beside my bed. Typically I'll wake up once in the night and then I'll drink that, so that when I'm already a bit dozy, I've had this, because I think if you have this too soon after a meal, or when you're not really tired yet, it won't really have the effect that you want it to. So a little tip there is put it beside your bed, and then when you wake up in the night for a wee or whatever you do, or cough or blah blah blah, drink it then, because you're already drowsy, and then you're going to really feel the effects of the GABA, the melatonin, the valerian extract. There's quite a few nice things in here, to be fair. This is solid. Like I said, I was using Resurrect PM, switched over to this and I felt the difference immediately. This is 6 times the amount of GABA, and for me the GABA is one of the key ingredients in there. So I'm going to try loads of stuff in the off season. I don't care. You know, I'm interested in the whole range. Particularly the products that I will be using will be the Core Flex, which is the joint formula, because that's something I don't actually use at the minute. Although I do take many of the ingredients themselves, the Core Flex is comprehensive and has all of the ingredients, so it should in fact save me a little bit of money, because I'm buying the one product with all the ingredients dosed specifically rather than buying 10. They also do another great product, which is Core Omega, which is going to be my replacement for my fish oils. I currently use krill oil, red krill oil, but it doesn't yield the same amount of milligram of the essential fats as the Core Omega, and the Core Omega has a really good ratio of the different essential fats. And then finally they do another product called Core Hard, which is kind of your anti-cortisol product, which typically for natty guys is more important, but I am very big on anti-cortisol products. You know, ashwagandha and whatnot is in that product, so it's going to help kind of buffer the effects of cortisol, which is the enemy sometimes, not always the enemy, but if you can keep it under control, then it's definitely a good thing. So yeah, I'm going to keep you up to date, because I'm just really happy with the way that I feel on such products. I'm streamlining what I do now, and that's just me being honest, because I really want to give a good insight to a range that I feel has everything. Other notable products that you might like, I have some of my natural guys that I prep on the Core Alpha with the Core Hard and the Core Test, so it's like their natural stack, and they're doing really well. You know, they're putting weight on and they're sustaining a level of body fat. Obviously a lot of that is diet, and I'm not a fool. I know that supplements don't do everything. I'm not like, oh, supplements are the best, the be all or end all, but they are definitely an aid, and if you feel good on them, then you should use them. I would like to try the Core post-workout, because the post-workout is actually a combination of whey isolate, cluster, dextrin. There's a couple of other carb sources in there, Carb 10, but they've really thought about the product, and that's like I think that's like a 24 grams of protein per scoop, and then 36 grams of carbs, so maybe like a 2 scoop of that post-workout, and then probably have a few cereal bars in the off season or something. So I'm keen on trying a few things, but I will let you know what I do, and when I do it, I will definitely post another video that has a lot more information on the setup, and then I will also do updates to adjustments to that setup if needed. So yeah, just keep an eye out, because I'm excited. You know, for the first time for a long time, I feel that I found something that is worthy, which has been a long time. You know, each brand does a good product, I've noticed, but as a whole, looking for a brand that provides you with pretty much everything has been really difficult to find, and that's why I've always remained how I am, which is like, you know, very singular, never really talk about particular brands, and I just kind of go with what I feel, and you'll see different posts on different things all the time, because I love trying new things. So it's exciting to find something that you use and you're like, shit, that product's good, and that one, and it's all by the same company. And essentially, obviously, with the America Labs, it's the sister company, which is created by the same people, so the principles are the same. The red, white, the America Labs is kind of like the more kind of fun products, a little bit high dose, super dose. So if you're someone that loves to be a little bit more hardcore, the America Labs seem to be that way. And it's only a new company, so they haven't got a lot of products, but they've got like aminos, but they've got like 8 grams per serving with Elevate TP in there as well. So it's pretty current, is what I would say. That's what the America Labs is. So yeah, that's cool. That's it. That's part 2, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. British is next week. Let's see what happens.